there's a big jump from what you've learned in coding bootcamp or just from Udemy, YouTube tutorials, or getting your computer science degree to being job ready as a software developer. And in this video, I'm going to break down 3 things that's missing that from the resources I've consumed, I've used, I've talked to other people, that's kind of missing from what's out there that'll help you become a developer. I'm actually here filming today from Jeju Island as I'm doing some traveling throughout Asia. The weather was finally nice out here today. The fogginess, the rain kind of went away. Finally got a haircut. Went to, I found a new favorite coffee shop I like to go to. It's spacious, quiet, and you go upstairs and there's like no staff, so you don't have to worry about them, and you can just work pretty much all day. So I want to talk to you about what you can do to help get better at coding before you start applying for jobs. And the one thing that you have to get better at is the code quality. Especially when you go through the coding bootcamp, they kind of just emphasize getting the project done, getting the code working, and then your website, your app works and can accomplish the user story of the goal of the app. That's great and all, but at a professional level, how you go about coding, it matters. You can't just throw any lines of code to make it work for them to use at a company. The details matters of how you go about doing it, because you're contributing to a large code base. You're going to be working with other people. Other people on your team need to be able to understand what you did. People that will come in the future, they need to understand what you did. So the code you write has to be organized, well maintained, and it has to be readable to other people. It has to follow the format of what has been coded before. So things also have to be efficient. That was what I was trying to look for. Because when you code by yourself, or in these boot camps, you code by yourself doing YouTube videos, you're usually missing feedback from other people because you're kind of doing it in isolation. The feedback you do get is it working or not, which doesn't cut it at a professional level. So when you study coding, you have to understand, you have to get feedback from another developer, someone else, to see if the code you've written is actually good. So that's the first thing. You have to up the structure, organization of the code, and not just throw anything out there. The second thing is that you have this code, right? You have to be able to communicate this code in written format, like a Google Doc, just explaining your thought process. Because when you work at a corporation, they usually have documentation written out. There's rarely that many videos, like video tutorials explaining what you did. You're gonna need to be able to write what you're thinking about coding. So when you work with other people, you don't just code it out. You have to think it through and write what you plan on coding down in a Google Doc or so. And then you give this, and then once you figure this out, you kind of divvy up the project and delegate it to other engineers on the team, and they code it out. So before you even code things out, you have to be able to write things down in pseudocode in a Google Doc to explain what you're thinking. And this is also valuable for your projects as well. If you do a portfolio project and you want to communicate this to employers, you have to communicate what you've done with your code. You have to communicate that you designed the code well, you wrote it out, you planned out the structure of your database, the structure of your API. You have to plan things out first, in addition to just coding it. And they should be able to read this and understand your thought process, your trade-offs, what you did to come up with this code. So that's the second thing. You have to communicate your code, what you're going to do, or what you've done in the past, in a written format so other developers can read it. And finally, the last thing is you need to be able to have a technical conversation with other developers. And that includes like talking about your project, talking about different technologies, because you're going to be collaborating with other people, thinking about how to approach coding a project, how to approach what technology is best used to make something happen. And you're going to have to communicate with this other people to come up with the best solution. And each person has worked on some part of the app, so they have opinions to come from. And you also do this during interviews as well. They want to hear that you can have a technical conversation with someone and show that you can think things through, understand trade-offs, and you want to learn and want to get better. So you have to be able to have technical conversations with other people. So those are the three main things. You have to code at a production level where things are organized, maintained well. Efficiency, scalability, security, all of this is taken into account. You also have to be able to communicate your code in writing. And lastly, be able to have a technical conversation with other people. So that's all I want to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos as I talk about the journey, talking about code, talking about traveling and business.